All right, heat and number 1 will be Cody Olson and David Garman on the front row, Jim Johnson and Michael Whiting on the second row, and Graham Nucky bringing up the rear. As mentioned, Graham Nucky has been getting stronger in every vehicle lately. See if he can get that win that is long overdue on dirt. He did get his first Asphalt League win a couple of weeks ago in an Indy car. Cody Olson versus David Garman, two of the more dominant dirt drivers out here. Both extremely fast. Ought to be an interesting battle with these two up front. And Graham Nucky did not take the grid. And regardless of Cody Olson's heat finishing position, he does have to take an EOL at the start of the feature. One more time around, the pace truck will drop off this time. Jim Johnson, Michael Whiting there at the back. So heat number 1 will be just the 4 cars. Pace truck drops off out of turn 3. They come around out of turn 4. Green flag in the air. Cody Olson gets a really good jump on this one. Garman to the high side. Garman way too high on corner entry. Cody Olson slings it way up to the edge. They both managed to save it. Garman's looking down low now. Cody Olson away. There is no barrier from turn 1 to turn 4, and I think Jim Johnson just went off track. Let's see if we can watch what happened to Jim Johnson here. And right in the cockpit, as you see, he just gets too high, catches that back end, and you see there is nothing to stop him. You slide down that ginormous hill, and it's very difficult to get one of these cars back to the top. Cody Olson way out front now. Almost a full second over David Garman. Michael Whiting in third. Jim Johnson finally back on track, but he is a couple of laps down now. I take that back. Jim Johnson is about a lap and a half down with 3 to go, so he will end up finishing 4th. And it looks like Cody Olson might be able to lock up heat number 1. He'll get the points for winning, but he will not get to start on the front row of the feature. He will have to go take an EOL. White flag in the air for Cody Olson. Michael Whiting gets by David Garman. Garman crashed. And Garman coming out of 4th just got too high and clipped it. Cody Olson winning heat number 1. Michael Whiting comes home 2nd. Jim Johnson manages to recover to 3rd. David Garman finishes 4th, and Graham Nucky did not grid, so he will finish 5th as Jim Johnson was doing a trick there. All right, heat number 2. Kevin Martin and Zach Bache on the front row. DJ Kenner and Justin Glover on the second row. And the Iceman hanging out there in the back, a little blink out of Justin. And Kevin Martin trying to get a head start here, but the pace car's holding everybody else up. Now Kevin's going to let the pace car catch back up. You'd almost think he was trying to pull a Garmin. One more time around. You heard Zach Bache in pre-race mention the fact that once the track slicks off, he's really been struggling. So he's going to hope this thing in the feature stays green the whole time. The track stays as good as possible, and he might be in contention. Comes into tonight 5th in points. Green flag in the air. Heat number 2 underway. And Zach Bache gets a good jump up to the high side to the lead. Kevin Martin drifts up a little bit. And Iceman DJ Kenner down to the bottom was looking for second. Couldn't get there. He lost a ton of momentum off turn 4. And Justin Glover trying to run the field back down. Had a rough start to the heat. And we might have a battle for third here in a minute, but right now we've got a battle for the lead as Kevin Martin looking to the bottom under Zach Bache. Can't quite get there yet. 5 to go. Zach Bache starting to open up a bit of a lead, but Kevin Martin sending it into every single corner, trying to get anything he can out of it. DJ Kenner now under attack heavily from Justin Glover. Oh, Justin has to back out of it just a hair to make sure he doesn't get into DJ, and lost a little momentum there. Justin Glover moves to the high side. DJ Kenner is slowed on the inside. Justin Glover way up on the edge of the track, but he moves into third. One and a half seconds back from the 2 lead cars. Probably not enough time to get there, but Zach Bache out front, 0.6 of a second as they get the white flag. Checker flag is waving. Kevin sends it hard in, but can't get enough. It's Zach Bache for the win in heat number 2. Kevin Martin finishes second. Justin Glover finishes third. And it looked like DJ Kenner may have had an incident on that last lap, and looks like they're going to try and send it into the fence after every race. All right. Heat number 3, the final one. Patrick Coluccio and Tom Rule up front. Skylar Massey and Doug McLaughlin on the second row. And Michael Heiser cheering on Zach Bache, who has been coming on extremely strong the last few weeks. Had a rough start with the Outlaws, but suddenly has really picked up a ton of speed in the last few weeks. But we have the return of Tom Rule. We had that last night at Dega, and now Tom is back on dirt. Patrick Coluccio there starting on the front row, comes into the night 4th in points. He is looking to get a heat win and possibly the feature win tonight to get himself closer to the leader. But Cody Olson way out in front. Doug McLaughlin did not grid, so they'll have 3 cars in this heat and get ready for a big feature. Pace car is off. Green flag in the air. Tom Rule on the high side gets a great run off into turn 1. Coluccio's got nothing for him, but Coluccio drifting up. Tom Rule almost went off the track there. Oh, we've got a collision on the front straightaway. They both managed to keep it straight, but here comes Skylar Massey to the bottom. Skylar Massey had to check up. He got a little bit of the grass. Went where nobody... Tom Rule is off the track in turn 3. Skylar Massey in a second. Patrick Coluccio out front after that impact. He just ran the fastest lap of the night so far last time by. See if he can beat it this time. He does by almost a half a second. Skylar Massey running his fastest laps of the night, trying to run down that gap. Tom Rule has gone to the pits after that incident coming out of turn 3. 3 laps to go for Coluccio. Oh no, Coluccio goes off track in turn 1. Skylar Massey to the lead. Patrick Coluccio getting back out on track, but way behind. There's no way he can catch up. Skylar Massey way out in front. 7-second lead over Coluccio. White flag for Skylar Massey. And Skylar's going to roll slowly across the line and take the checkers in heat number 3. And Patrick Coluccio gives him a love tap for that one. All right, it is time for the warm-up. And let's see if we can really quickly get a quick word with Massey. Hey, Skylar, this is Doug. You got me?
What?
Hey, you got me?
Yeah.
Hey, so got to ask about well, okay. Let's ask what just happened.
With the exiting the pits there, or my race finish?
Well, let's start with exiting the pits and go from there.
Well, I tried to send it, and my car decided it wanted to be a gymnast, and surprisingly, nothing broke right there.
Yeah, and I would say with the landing being stuck, that was easily an 8.5. That was a great jump.
Well, thank you.
So what was the deal at the finish there?
Everybody else screwed up, so I was gloating a little bit that I didn't go over the edge.
Now, are you worried that gloating might come back to haunt you in the feature?
No, because once it gets slick, I'll just run the bottom and let everybody else die off the top.
All right, who's your prediction to win this one?
Cody Olsen by like 5 laps.
Oh, by 5 laps. All right, man. Good luck, buddy, and try not to fly the car anymore.
I'll do my best, Doug.
All right, thanks.
All right, yep.
All right. As a almost complete warm-up, we will. There goes David Garman on the high side. Jim Johnson is the fastest out on track, but looks like he found another driver, and they're going to go off into the field a little bit and down to the bottom of the hill, and that's what we're talking about. If they go off the top, it is very, very difficult to get these cars back up to the top of the track. Jim Johnson's just out there playing at this point. All right, checkered flag is in the air. It is time for the feature. Here's how they'll line up. Michael Whiting and Skylar Massey on the front row. Zach Bache and Cody Olsen on the second row. Cody will be receiving an EOL and go to the back. Kevin Martin and Patrick Coluccio on the third row. Jim Johnson, Justin Glover on the fourth row. Tom Rule and David Garman on the fifth row. DJ Kenner, 11th. Doug McLaughlin, 12th. 13th is Graham Nucky, although McLaughlin and Nucky did not grid for their heats and appear to not be gridding for the feature. All right, as we mentioned, as they start to roll off track, once the green flag drops, we will go silent for one lap. in memory of Bob Jenkins. Pace car will take him around one more time. Doug McLaughlin did not grid. Graham Nucky did not grin. Cody Olson has taken his EOL. My pleasure, Craig. Pace truck is in. Once the green is out, we will be silent for one lap. All right, lap number 1 completed, silent in memory of Bob Jenkins. And as you saw, Kevin Martin went off track. Justin Glover went off track in turn 3. And we've got one going off track in the back. That is Kevin Martin going off again. A lot of chaos early on here in the feature. Currently, Jim Johnson is in the lead. Michael Whiting second. Zach Bache working his way up into third. Cody the Alien Olsen started at the back of the field, now up to fourth. Tom Rule in fifth, hanging onto that thing. He is sliding through the corner. Oh, Tom Rule goes off track in turn 3. Cody Olsen is in fourth. Garmin in fifth. DJ Kenner up to sixth. Patrick Coluccio seventh. Kevin Martin eighth. And Skylar Massey in ninth. Tom Rule and Justin Glover currently off track after their incidents hitting that outside wall, having to get some repairs. A rough start to the night for those two guys. Jim Johnson continuing to lead. Michael Whiting second. Zach Bache is third. Cody Olsen trying to run him down, but he's got a handful as David Garman is fighting for fourth. Down to the inside. And, oh, Cody gets a little too high. A rare mistake out of Cody Olsen allows David Garman to slip by in turn 4. Garman to fourth. Cody Olsen back to fifth. And now DJ Kenner coming up into the battle for fifth place. Caution. I think the caution was flown due to the position of the field when Justin Glover came off of pit road. We'll allow a couple of guys to get caught back up. No incidents on track, just a little technical thing that occasionally happens on these short dirt tracks. Lernerville just 0.4 of a mile, very short track, and it does slick off rather quickly, as you see. That high line already starting to get really, really slick up there. Tom Rule now back off of pit road. He is getting one of his laps back as the pace car dropped in. I think the pace truck driver might be lost. He went back on pit road for a moment. Jim Johnson and Michael Whiting have the front row right now. Then Zach Bache in third, David Garman in fourth, Cody Olson in fifth, DJ Kenner is sixth, Patrick Coluccio currently running seventh, Kevin Martin is eighth, Skylar Massey is ninth, Tom Rule is in 10th. Several laps down, here comes the pace car. Nice of you to join us there, buddy. Tom Rule 4 laps down currently in 10th, and in 11th is Justin Glover currently 5 laps down. And don't forget, immediately after this feature, we'll switch over. They'll hop into the 358 mods and go racing. Same track, different car, and those things tend to get a little bit more wild because they are leaning on each other so much more in those cars. Pace truck is on pit road. Green flag back in the air for Jim Johnson. And on the bottom, Zach Bache trying to take second place, but here comes David Garman up on the high side. Here comes Cody Olson down below. David Garman has to check up and almost gets run over by Coluccio. Wreck on the front stretch. Caution is out. It looked like David Garman just got enough of Zach Bache to turn him up into the 44. Tom Rule caught in that one. Justin Glover hits on the infield. Jim Johnson still holding on to the lead, but now Cody Olson up to second. And you heard them say in pre-race that fully expected to see Cody up here. Even though he started with an EOL, they fully expected to see him up here before too long. Yeah, Craig. I think Dakota was a little worn out after last night. I'm sure he'll be back Wednesday night when the Cup Series takes to Daytona. That ought to get interesting. And hey, if you liked that show last night, we're broadcasting a new league tomorrow night, a one-off race for the Fun League, FUN, the Friendly Unwind Nights League. They're going to be doing some dirt limited late models, and then after that, the HKC Beagles Racing League will be at Talladega in the trucks. And both of those leagues are recruiting for some new people. If interested, reach out. Pace car is in. Green flag back in the air. And Cody Olson gets a huge jump on this restart. And the Iceman already looking to the inside. Had to check up a little bit. Garmin up top. Everybody managing to keep it straight and on track for this lap. David Garmin now fighting DJ Kenner for second. Fighting Jim Johnson for second. DJ Kenner now drifting back to fourth. Coluccio trying to make his way up through the field, but stuck on the bottom. He's not making a lot of headway yet. Skylar Massey slipped by Zach Bache. Zach trying to pick up some positions again here, but got a little bit of the infield grass and sent himself backwards a little bit. Now it is Cody Olson out front and David Garmin to second. Garmin looking to the inside, and while they battle side by side, Jim Johnson's going to be able to catch back up. Oh, Jim Johnson almost goes over the edge. Meanwhile, Garmin and Olson having to run the same line as the track slicks off, and Olson starting to open up a bit of a gap again. Jim Johnson is running right on the edge here tonight. DJ Kenner currently in 4th. Kevin Martin in 5th. Great recovery after going off track on lap 1. Patrick Coluccio back in 6th. Skylar Massey is 7th and Zach Bache is 8th. Skylar said he was going to wait till the track slicks off, drop to the bottom, let everybody go off track, but it hasn't worked out yet for him. We'll see if it works out in the end, as he is right on the edge that time. And it looks like Justin Glover was involved in an incident a moment ago. Looks like it might have just been a little blink. Cody Olson still out front. David Garman staying within about 3 to 4 tenths of a second of him, but can't get any ground made up. Meanwhile, back behind, DJ Kenner, Kevin Martin, and Patrick Coluccio. All right, Coluccio cutting through the grass, trying to find a way around Kevin Martin, but loses a lot of ground in the process. Back up front, these two leaders have opened up a 3 1/4 second lead over Jim Johnson in 3rd. Iceman is in 4th. But Coluccio and the 99 to the bottom. They touch briefly coming out of turn 4. Everybody keeps going the right way. Coluccio picking up 4th place here. Coluccio, one that definitely excels on a track. Once it slicks off, he picked up a ton of ground. Passed 2 cars very quickly, went from 6th to 4th. Now DJ Kenner has Kevin Martin right there with him. Skylar Massey's closing in on this group as well. Cody Olson's lead is starting to grow. He is now 7/8 tenths of a second, and Garmin goes off track. Looks like Garmin just barely got off on the high side in 3 and 4, but it was enough to lose a ton of ground. 3 laps to go. Garmin now 3.5 seconds back. Jim Johnson still 2.5 seconds back from David Garmin. Patrick Coluccio in 4th, right back there. Still has DJ Kenner and Kevin Martin right there with him. Skylar Massey trying to pick up a position here. Has Zach Bache battling with him as the white flag comes out for Cody Olson. Cody Olson comes out of turn 4 and wins the 360 feature here tonight. David Garmin will come home 2nd. Jim Johnson is 3rd. DJ Kenner, a last lap pass, takes 4th. Kevin Martin is 5th. Coluccio comes across 6th. Skylar Massey is 7th. And Zach Bache is 8th. Michael Whiting comes home in 9th. Justin Glover 10th. Tom Rule out after a very hard wreck. And let's see if we can talk to our winner. Hey, Cody, this is Doug. You got me?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, you had an EOL to start the race. It wasn't enough to keep you at the back, though. Do they need to start you a lap down?
If they would like to. I know, but
Well, you've had a dominant performance here tonight, and I'm sure you're going to extend your points lead just a little bit here. That was a little bit close there until Garmin made a mistake with 5 to go.
yeah, I mean, I don't know where he was. I think I heard him a few times behind me, but that was about it. I don't run a mirror or anything, so I don't really know, you know, unless they get real close to me, you know, where they're kind of at, unless I look at the relative. But yeah, every time I peeked down, it didn't seem like he was very, very far off me the whole time.
Well, a heck of a run, and once the track slicked off, man, you were just gone.
Yeah, I kind of prefer these more slicked off tracks versus the tacky ones. It seems like there's a few more grooves in them. Makes the racing a little more cleaner.
That it does, and a bit of a wild night, but you come home with the win. Congratulations, Cody.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. Appreciate it, man.
All right, let's see if we can get a word with second place, David Garman. Hey, Garmy, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
What up, Doug?
Hey, man. Looked like you might have had something for Cody until you made a little mistake coming out of turn 4 once and just lost a ton of ground.
Little mistake, yeah. No, I don't know, man. He's really good in these things, and this track was difficult in these cars. It was just a learning curve. I know I was faster in a couple spots, so yeah, I'd like to see how it went out toward the end of the race, but it is what it is. I'm surprised I only went off once. In practice, I was going off every 3 or 4 laps. So it was a good race. It was fun. We enjoyed it. It was a really good race, top to bottom. So I had fun.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. Another top 3 finish. Nothing to sneeze at.
No, it's good. We'll go hop in the big blocks and see what we can do there.
All right, man. Good luck, bud. All right, David Garman comes home first or second. Let's see if we can get a word with Jim Johnson, who finished third place, if I can find him. Oh, there he is. Well, you were not exactly freaky fast, but you definitely had a great run tonight.
Yeah, I knew that was my only shot was get out in the lead, and hopefully it ran as much green as possible out yellow so I could get away from Cody and David. I mean, I worked on the bottom the whole practice because I knew most of the guys would try to run the top, so that's why I kind of focused on the bottom. It was a stretch where I knew they were going to get me on the restart. Then there was 5 or 7 laps there in the middle where I was reeling them back in, and after that, it got really slick. It didn't matter where you were. Probably didn't have enough wing into it because I was actually tapping the brake to slow it down even more. I was almost driving like it was asphalt.
That's kind of crazy. It did look like you were making that bottom line work, especially right as it started to slick off and everybody was right up by the edge. You were making that bottom line really work and picking up a lot of momentum down there.
Yeah, it's all how you run it. It's basically throttle control, go in easy and come off easy, and hopefully you get bite. You know, you could tell I was searching, especially on the backstretch. It got really slick off too. So you'd see me not go all the way up, try to run the middle where the moisture was. That's what I was basically doing, was searching for any moisture I could find. But, you know, Cody and David are a lot better, and especially Cody. He's very good in these. He's a freak in these. No offense, Cody, you're a hell of a racer, but it was fun. You know, I'll take another top 3. It's except for last week, that's all I finished is second and third, so I'll take it.
Well, you come home in third, but you still maintain second in points. So, a great run tonight.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate everything you do, buddy.
All right, man.
See you Wednesday. Hopefully it's back.
And that was Jim Johnson. Now we're going to go hit up the big block, the 358 mods for the D2 boys from Outlaw. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Hit that share button and the heart button and the subscribe and all the buttons. You can find us on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And the link to our website right down there, htsai.net. Stick around. More dirt tracking to come.